Welcome to BNEWS Special Report. I'm very pleased to have today as our guest the Chief Brownes, Chief James Browne Sr. of the Fire Department and Chief Thomas Browne of the Burlington Police Department. How unusual, first of all, let me start by saying that I did a little research, a lot of research, and actually I couldn't find anywhere in the United States that there were siblings at the same time in the public safety arena, except in Lenox, where the O'Briens were in public service for 71 years combined, and one was the chief of police, one was the fire department. So have you heard of any other connection like that in the state or in the country?
No, I haven't. Thanks for having us, Phil, obviously, but you've done a lot more research on it than I have, I can tell you that.
Yeah. You would think it would be unusual. Yeah. In any event, let's start with James Sr., since he's the older sibling, and see, how did you, is this a familial thing where the Brownes of over the ages have all been involved in public safety and dedicated to public safety, or how did it originate for you, James?
Yeah, well, I don't know if you know, but my two older brothers were on the fire department, our two older brothers, and it's probably started with my older brother, Kevin, and we had an uncle that's a retired Chelsea firefighter, so I think he grew up watching him, and that put the interest in him, and then my brother Tim joined, and I was sort of an also-ran at the time, and I joined. I ended up loving it, and here I am 30 years later. So that's
now, was your uncle involved in the old Chelsea fire?
He was in the 73 one.
Right.
Yeah, 1973.
And speaking of fires, you were on board for the Worcester fire. Were you out there for the? For that fire?
No, I never ended up going out for any of that, other than unfortunately the funerals and stuff. But yeah, I was fairly new at the time. I got on in 97, that was in 99, so yeah, I was around for that.
Right. And Tom, how did it arrive for you? Was this always something you played cops and robbers when you were a kid?
Yeah,
or did you decide mid-education that you wanted to go there?
I probably decided really young that I wanted to do it, and then obviously seeing our older brother Kevin get involved. He's 9 years older than I was, so he was on the department when I was still young and coming up, and I was really I really wanted to get into public safety. But truth be told, I never had an interest to be on the fire department. I really not liking heights very much. So
and it was dangerous.
Yeah, and my mom had two cousins, or our mom had two cousins that one was in Chelsea, one was on the Mets and then state police. Unfortunately, both were killed in the line of duty. But I kind of took the police route on that. I had. One of our cousins' husbands was on Chelsea Police at the time, so I kind of took that route, but both ended up in the public safety realm, or all four of us, all four boys.
Right. Now, there's been a little bit of a change over the last 10, 12 years in how the selection process was involved, okay? We used to have by not selective service, that's the draft.
Civil service.
Civil service, thank you, Tom. What happened there? I mean, first the chiefs came out?
Yeah, so the chiefs at least the police, I can't speak for fire, came out when Chief Hart was either becoming chief or had just become chief, I believe, or maybe right before Chief Kent came. And then when Chief Kent got here, right around 2012, we started the process for the home rule petition to come out of civil service for the entire police department, and that was passed, I believe, in 2014. So we've been out since 2014.
And when did the rest of the department come out?
We all came out in 2014. The chiefs, I believe, came out maybe in 2010.
I see.
Yeah.
And same with the fire department?
No, so our chiefs has been out. I don't know the exact year, but the rest of the department is still civil service.
Okay. And what was the competitive process to arrive at becoming the chief for you?
For me?
Yeah.
So for this one, it was any captain and above was eligible. Mm-hmm. We had to let the town administrator know we wanted to proceed. And we went to an assessment center here. It was an all-day assessment center. They hired an outside company, came in, put us through a bunch of exercises, an in and out box, a lot of role playing. Mm-hmm. And prior to that, we had to come up with like a budgetary report and present like we were at the Ways and Means as if we're buying a new engine, right, with real numbers and stuff. Right. After that, we all got an interview with the town administrator and his staff. And from there they picked.
Now, was there actual situations, scenarios in the firefighting realm that you had to address?
So it was more an after the fact stuff. like one of them was a press conference where there was a fatality, and hard questions from the press. Another one was just getting drilled by pretend Ways and Means members. There was another scenario where it was a disciplinary problem, and just no-win situations and just see how you'd handle that.
Right.
So it was interesting. I'd never done it before. None of the 5 of us have ever done it before.
So there were 5 applicants all
yeah,
over?
5 out of the 6 captains put in for it, which is I think is a good testament to the department that we all wanted it. So.
And Tom, how about for you?
So for me, when I promoted to sergeant and lieutenant here, it was under the old civil service system. And then as
And that was the test-taking process?
it was the test. It was strictly the test and then an interview. And then the first time I went for chief in 2010 against Chief Kent, we went through the assessment center like Jim's talking about. But then when I made deputy to make deputy and chief, it was just an interview panel between the chief, the town administrator, and some outside chiefs.
Now, collectively, how much time have you got on the job, the two of you?
I'll have 29 the end of April.
29.
So I'll be a police officer for 33 in March, but I've been in Burlington for 25.
Not exactly rookies then, huh? No. Okay, Tom, let's go to you and talk about what innovations have you seen since your arrival in the department in policing?
In policing, well, the one thing I will say, Phil, that's always held true is for whatever reason, technology outperforms the law by a couple of years all the time. So it takes us quite a while to catch up. So, never did I know that AI was going to be a thing, but here we are. AI is very much a thing, and the criminals just get a lot more creative. I mean, some of the scams that they run now are unbelievable. They're hard to fathom. But what I can tell you is there's no case we work that there isn't an electronic component to it. I mean, everybody's got a phone attached to their ear, right? But since I've come on, probably one of the biggest things is the drones. We use drones in everything we do. We even fly them over the current site of the police station as the build is going on. We can use them for SWAT call-outs and missing persons and everything like that.
Well,
so
you've had a couple of pinches with the drone, and you've also had found a missing person, a woman,
Yes.
I think, who had, she was an Alzheimer's patient,
Yes.
if I'm correct?
Yes, and they have the heat sensors on them, and they have unbelievable cameras on them, so they're an unbelievable tool, really. And I just see that that's going to continue to go forward. I mean, you also hear a lot about facial recognition. Now, under police reform, there are certain restrictions on facial recognition, but certainly those types of things with technology will, again, continue to outpace the law.
Talking about technology, as you mentioned, cybercrime is on the rise. It's continual. I think you made a couple of recommendations for an addition in the department specifically for that purpose.
We did, and we actually put that into place. So we have technology services detective that is involved in all the computer guided investigations, and they're able to get basically in the pocket with the AG's office, the DA's office, and some of these specialized task forces like with the Secret Service. And they have a lot of resources that they're able to get help with on these investigations, because they're not simple investigations.
Now, how about body cams? That was an innovation that was brought on board during your tenure.
Yes.
How has that worked out? And that was particularly important in a fatality that a shooting that we had in the department.
Yes, so we've had the body-worn cameras, I believe, since 2021. We were able to get them through a state grant. They've definitely, been an unbelievable return on investment. We don't get a lot of complaints, luckily, but when we have gotten them, we've been able to clear the officer in every single situation. But there's certainly a tool that is very helpful, but I will say that the downside is they're very expensive. Because storing the data is something that's a perpetual cost across the board, trying to, to redact and turn over the footage if there's a public information request or something like that. But they've definitely been a great tool for us, for sure.
Well, it's money well spent in terms of liability cases.
Yes.
If you've got nothing better than a picture.
Right.
Now, on that shooting, explain to us. She was a female officer, first of all,
Yes.
correct? And this apparently was somebody who wanted to die by cop.
Yes.
Okay, charging her with the weapon. Why did it take 13 months for her to be cleared in that investigation? Or did it take 13 months? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, it took a while, Phil, and I'll be honest, that was a source of my frustration that I aired with the district attorney at the time. Basically, her office policy is that she is going to do an inquest on every shooting, no matter what it looks like at the beginning, no matter what the evidence points to at the beginning. They're going to put it through the inquest because that's her office policy. The problem I had with that, without getting into too much detail, is we knew from the start that this was a good shoot. But more than that, what I don't think people understand is that you have a young officer, 25 years old, who's really never going to be the same, right? None of us would be the same. And then when the inquest finally came around, it was right around the 1-year anniversary. And what happened is it re-victimizes that officer. And it was, to have to go through that again and relive that experience, I didn't think was fair, but maybe that's me just sticking up for my officer too much. The DA's office, she takes a very objective view and says we're going to put every one of these through an independent inquest, and that's what she does. So,
yeah. But a year under the shadow of a shoot
yes.
For the officer could
Yes.
have been a good thing. All right, James, let's talk about the fire department. I want to get back to you, Tom, on the progress on the police station.
Excellent.
Okay, after you knocked down my elementary school.
But we're going to save the rock.
Yeah, save the rocks. Well, there was a lot of rocks saved there probably from the Revolutionary War, if I'm not mistaken. James, so you are in the new station, which is 3 years old, I think, now at this
I
point.
think it's actually almost closer to 5 now.
Is it
Yeah.
really? Time flies
Yeah.
when you're my age.
Yeah.
So what are some of the benefits of having a station down there? Are most of your calls coming from there?
No, it's still mostly out of headquarters, but for the most part, we have a nice split here. The residential are up on this side for the most part, so at night, all the houses and stuff, we more or less come out of headquarters. But down that side, they get, it's not quite 50-50, but probably 60-40 split between headquarters and Station 2.
But those are the calls that you get there on 128 Route 3, which
Yeah, we get some of the accidents, we get all the businesses, the mall, all the new apartment buildings, Lord Byron, Lifetime.
all the
so
industrial sector is down there as well.
Exactly, yeah.
Now, speaking of industry, what are we seeing down there? I know there's a lot of laboratories and things of that sort. What kind of a process do they have to go through with the fire department in order to get certified to do these various lab operations?
Yeah, so a lot of them go to our Fire Prevention Bureau, and we have Captain Hannafin and Lieutenant McInnesby. They're both long time in there, very sharp with what they do. So we'll go through plan reviews. Obviously, all these labs have all their own experts, and a lot of times they're teaching us. And then what will happen when they're going to open, they'll invite us down. They'll do a walkthrough. They'll tell us what they know, anything we have to be concerned about, and it's been a good relationship. And it all starts with our fire prevention office.
Now, do we have any lithium or any of these explosive materials? I know we had a fatality. It wasn't a lab fatality, actually. It was a janitorial fatality back, was it the Wings?
Yeah.
Yeah, Buffalo Wild Wings.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Right.
How do you prevent this? How do you prepare for such things?
Yeah, I know. That was very unfortunate. It was just an inexperienced person mixing 2 of the wrong chemicals. That could have happened in a household, actually, a bleach and ammonia, and just unfortunate. I think he had a little bit of medical issues himself prior to that. Maybe it wouldn't have done it to me.
What does that
was
create?
just terrible.
Phosgene gas when you? Is
Like
it
a
ammonia
chlorine
and
or
bleach?
something, I thought it
Chlorine
was,
gas. Yeah.
And he just, I think he took a big whiff of it, and it was terrible. Yeah.
Now, manning in your department, where do you stand at this point?
So manning right now, we have 15-man shifts, 15-person shifts, and we're on a 13-man minimum. When I got on, it was 11 minimum. I'm sorry, it was 13-man shifts, but we'd run down to 9, sometimes 8 at night, depending on how it was going. So it was, we've seen a nice increase in the manning. Like anywhere, it could always be more, but so we'll run a 13 minimum.
And are you doing 410s? What are the shifts?
No, we do 420. We do 24-hour shifts.
Oh,
now.
yeah, you changed
Yeah.
them to 24s,
I don't
so,
know how many years ago, but
yeah,
Yeah.
just recently, 3 or 4 years ago, I think.
yeah, more. Like you
Is
said,
it-
time flies.
time
yeah.
flies at my
It's
age.
over 10 or 12
Yeah.
years for sure.
Now, there's been some other changes that are pretty important for the town in general. We used to have firefighters, then we had firefighter EMTs, and now we have firefighter paramedics.
Right.
Is the entire department turned over at this point to the higher level of service?
Yeah, so not the entire department's not paramedics, but the service now is all paramedic, the ambulance service.
ambulance
So there are still some guys like me that aren't paramedics. But yeah, now we just hit, so we have 31 paramedics. 28 was gonna be the number where we ran both ambulances, ALS paramedic service, and we got there. So unless some unforeseen event comes that we couldn't staff to both of them, both of our ambulances now are ALS paramedic level, which is a whole nother level of care.
Okay, what level of care is that versus firefighter versus EMT
Yeah.
versus ALS?
So ALS, they can start drugs, they can start IVs, they have extensive cardiac training. They can put you on a monitor, see what's going on with you. And they can start interventions. They can start, as they say, emergency room interventions in the ambulance or even in your house. And it's a good benefit. It gets a jump on things.
Right. Yeah, particularly people my age.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing when you see what they can do on some of these stressful calls. So it's pretty good. It's quite a service.
And you have no openings in the department at this point?
We do. We have a couple vacancies, and the thing is, you have to be a paramedic now to get hired.
Right.
So we have one that's just finished. We just took a transfer from Sudbury. He'll be on a shift on Sunday, and then we'll have a couple vacancies coming up with retirements that we'll be looking to hire.
Okay, so a transfer is more beneficial than adding somebody new. Does a transfer have to go to the academy? And
Not if they've been academy trained. So this guy has been academy trained. He comes in, he does orientation with us. We send him out to, we call it phone school, so he can be qualified on the desk. And he does a couple-week orientation with us, and then he's good to go.
right. Now that's obviously an innovation that's worthwhile for the community in general. How about technically speaking for the service in general? Are there new advancements? I remember from the Worcester fire there was a camera that could see through the walls.
Yeah. So those are new, and now, now they're everywhere. Thermal imaging camera, they call them.
I'm sorry,
That's
I
fine.
couldn't come up with
And
that.
when I first got on, we might have bought one, and then we maybe buy two, and now every piece of apparatus has them. And there's even some smaller ones now on the lieutenant's breathing packs for the MSA
Scott
packs.
bottles,
Yeah.
Sure.
Scott's the brand name. So they've come quite a long way, and now they're readily available for us, and it's quite a tool.
Right. And how about communication within the scene? Is everybody tied into the system so you know where everybody is at all times?
Everybody has their own personal radio, where when I got on, it was a radio assigned to a seat on the engine. Now we all have our own. We all can communicate at all times.
So the senior on the scene can communicate with anybody individually or everybody in general.
Correct. They can. We try to limit who's talking.
Right.
But everyone has a radio. Everyone has a microphone. If anyone gets in trouble, they can always talk on it. You're hearing everything.
Right. Okay, Tom. Let's talk about my elementary school. I went there in the 6th grade. It tells you how old I was.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was in '62.
Yeah.
You guys, both youngsters, must have skipped that, huh?
Yeah.
Skipped
Yeah.
that torture. And
Yeah.
as I mentioned to Tom, when I went to school there in the winter, when we had a snowstorm, we didn't get out like they get out today. You got there one way or the other.
Yeah.
But the snow would actually blow through the windows.
Yeah.
So I understand while you were there. That
Yeah,
still
not much of
happened.
a change, Phil, to be honest with you. But yeah, right now where we are is, as of last Friday, the old station was down. It's now, if you look at it from drone footage, it's basically like a cellar hole. The foundation is still in there. I believe they started to take that out today. And according to the 3-week look ahead from the general contractor, the foundation permit, so the building permit has been issued, and they intend to start to dig for the foundation. There are a couple more trees, I believe, that are in peril that are going to have to be taken down. We tried to save them. They weren't on the plan to be saved per se, but we were hoping, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So a couple more trees come down, and they'll start the foundation. So they're moving along.
And what's the ETA for the completion?
Well, what they're telling us is it was 2 years from December 1st when we turned the building over. So we're hoping, I mean, I'm obviously hoping that it comes in under time, under budget, but, you know, December of 27 basically is when we'd be in.
And you're now down at the old abandoned, or not abandoned, what should we call
Yeah,
it?
the water treatment
Yeah,
plant.
the water treatment
Yeah.
plant. Yeah. How did that transition go?
Unbelievable. I mean, you have to come down and see it. They did a great job on it. You know, floor to ceiling and door to door, all brand new in there. It's a good space. We thought we were going to be a little tight, and it's certainly tighter than 45 Center, but what you realize very quickly is 45 Center had a lot of unusable space. But right now you know, we're making good use of the building, and we'll take good care of it so that when we come out, whatever the town administration decides to put down there, they'll be in good shape.
Now, did it disrupt your patrol sectors at all? How do you have 3 different patrol sectors in the town, or is
Yes.
it more than that?
Yes, so we have the 3, but what we did was we developed car plans before we went down there. So for instance, our traffic unit starts at 7 in the morning. So we make sure instead of that traffic officer going a roll call at 8, they're out in the east, which is, you know, the east side of Cambridge Street. So should anything happen at Fox Hill or Pine Glen, there's a car readily available. And then we just make roll calls quick and we deploy the cars right from the station.
Right.
So it's worked out well.
And how about school safety? That's another big concern. As we know, over the past several years, we've had some complete maniacs who think that shooting at school children is somehow going to advance some cause, which
Yep.
we're unaware of. I know you were involved in integration with the school department with safety plans. How
Yep.
has that gone? How did you implement it? What do you do?
Well, it's gone very well. We implemented it, and again, I kind of lose track of time too, but I want to say maybe in 2015 is when we first brought the system in, and the school department has been excellent to work with. They've been a great partner in the school safety, so we have a division, a unit within the department that you know, keeps ahead of things there. We've got the youth services detective assigned to the high school, an SRO assigned to the middle school and the elementary schools, and we are constantly training. We do drills off hours that people aren't even seeing, but we'll call a drill and respond over to the Marshal Simons, make sure that we're ready to handle any call that comes in, and the schools are doing the same thing. So we've stayed on top of it. It's one of those things that's top of mind. You hope it never happens, but you train for the worst and hope for the best.
Okay, from a managerial standpoint, how do you feel, both of you feel, about support from the town? Are the budgets adequate to provide public safety in the town? Is management giving you the support necessary? How is that working out?
Yeah, so I'll go first because this is his first budget cycle.
Yeah.
They've been excellent with the police department. I mean, I do try to come in and budget conservatively and go more on a needs versus a want type of situation. But even with that, we've had tons of support, very little pushback, but good questions, you know, to keep us honest, obviously. But no, the town has been very supportive. I have no complaints whatsoever, and I would expect that's going to remain the same going forward. But
Jim?
Yeah, Sam.
Your first budget cycle.
Yeah, I told him go easy on me. So, you know, as a shift captain, you never see the budget. You know,
Right.
we don't have day personnel like Tom does. You know, as an assistant chief, but shift captain, you never really saw it. So it's all new to me. And working with the town side, but even when I got on, we always had good equipment. The town always backed us with that. Over the years, we had to fight for some manning, and it did. They increased it, but the same way, I expect some questions. I know there's always questions on our overtime. Hopefully, once we fill some vacancies, that can tighten up a little bit. But the town in general has been very supportive of us and very appreciative of it.
Right. Well, vacancies have always been a problem for overtime, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you lose people. Well, speaking of that, where are you in terms of the average age of the department? When I was on years ago, Board of Selectmen Ways and Means Committee, we had an advancing age group in the departments. Have we had a lot of turnover there? What would you say is, are we more youthful? We are, in particular, in terms of the chiefs,
Yeah.
right?
yeah, so I mean, at least for my department, we talk about it all the time. It's like, you know, it's like this pendulum, and the older guys have fallen off, and all the new, you know, the younger guys, people have come in. but now I kind of feel like a dinosaur over there. So it's like, you know, when you hit that stage. But when you start to hire people that were born in the same year as your own kids, then you start to realize that you're getting up there. But it's definitely a younger aged police force for us right now.
Same in your department?
Yeah, we're on the younger side too. We probably have 5 or 6 guys that could go that are retirement age, but we're on the younger side also now.
Out of total manning of what, 40?
No, it
44,
should
I
be
think, is it?
60, about 65.
65, I missed
Including
that
our
by
day,
a third.
including our
huh?
day personnel, yeah.
And you, Tom?
We're 68 authorized, but
68.
we're not at 68 right now. I've got 4 in the academy, and I've got a couple of openings, and then I've got a couple of injuries. So
Okay, and how about equipment? Now, I know you changed over to that fancy black and silver.
yes.
What, it used to be a Crown Victoria, right? Then we switched to,
Yes, so now it's called a police interceptor. It's basically a Ford SUV, and they're very good. We did try to go the hybrid route a couple of years ago, and that did not work.
no.
They're not good for a line cruiser. I lost more time than I gained from them. But we're back to the gas combustible, and they're a good, solid vehicle for us.
Same with you and equipment?
As far as the engines and stuff, we tend to stick with Pierce.
Pierce, right?
Yeah, that's been our manufacturer. That's what we like. Our fleet is like that. Our mechanic is very good with it and familiar, and that's what we've
Now,
come to.
does your mechanic also handle the police department, or does that go down to the DPW?
No, we have our own. We have our own EVT.
Specialized, yeah.
He could use 3 other assistants.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do the personal stuff. What was the sibling rivalry like growing up? What's the distance between the two of you? 3 years?
I'm 2 years older.
2 years older.
Yeah.
Okay, so was there a lot of wrestling and noogies and hair pulling and whatever?
Well, yeah, I mean, you
Might have been a fight or two.
yeah, you grew up with 4 boys, and we had a great neighborhood too. I mean, we were always outside, so I mean, it was different back then. But you know, we'll ask officers when they come on the job now, like, have you ever been in a fight? Have you ever been punched in the face? And some of them, they say no, and I'm like, well, I went every day of my life getting punched in the face, right? You know, could have been over supper or, you know, whatever. It didn't have to have a reason, but you know, it was a good upbringing. We had a good time, I think.
Now, I got to ask you
It
this
could have been
question.
our sister. She might have been punching
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Well, you
Carrie, I know
yeah,
Carrie.
you know
Yeah,
her, yep,
yeah,
yep,
yeah, she wasn't a slacker.
yep, still isn't. Yeah.
So I got to ask you this. You know, you have a namesake that's very famous. Have you ever seen Celebrity Hot Tub? And how did that work for you over the last 25 years?
It's funny, I was saying earlier, you know, growing up, my father would say Jim Browne, the football player. And then when I got to high school, and they'd call in the big rooms, James Browne out here, I didn't even know what it was for a while.
Hot Tub.
Exactly. Then actually, Hot Tub was my nickname for my first couple of years over there. A couple of the guys called me Hot Tub, so
I
was
thought you
pretty
guys
funny.
might be too young for that, but
No,
apparently
yeah.
not. Good comedy lasts forever.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. I'd like to thank the Chief Browns, James Browne Jr., Thomas Browne. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.